Welcome. So, in this edition of Down to Earth, we'll focus on some of the important topics related to travel and transport, specifically in this edition. So, the first thing that has been discussed is the longer travel times in India, the higher amount of traffic jams, and it is believed that during the peak hours, most of the metropolitan cities in India actually take double the time they should. And in this process, nearly 90 hours per year are lost by the commuters in either short form of journey or long form of journey. So be it any of the metropolitan from Kolkata, Mumbai, Delhi to Bangalore, on an average during the peak hours the travel time increases by 25 to 30 minutes, which is significant, has been indexed in the TomTom traffic index, which confirms that during the peak hours India experiences one of the slowest traffics in the world. Now some of the significant values have been cited out here, but again we have seen that it's not just about traffic, but it has led to higher number of air pollution incidences, and impacts of air pollution have been witnessed significantly worse in the winter months. Now traffic jam, one of the problems; air pollution, the second important problem. The third important problem is the harmful pollutants which are being released, which leads to respiratory illnesses, serious health risks to an individual. And in this chart, as you can see, vehicular emissions actually contribute to a significant amount of urban air pollution. Now, if we talk about the urban traffic jam, it's a vicious cycle because there are more cars and poor public transport. As a result, what would happen? The congestion on the road would increase. This would lead to longer travel times, frustrated driving, higher amount of air pollution, higher amount of respiratory illnesses, higher amount of health risk, and ultimately impact stress or the working potential of an individual, where we can see nearly 90 hours annually are lost in short form or long form of journey for an individual, which could have been productively put on to some other work, right? So the next important is the urban India. Now in the urban India, cycling and walking has been one of the major commuting styles that have been emphasized, because we are talking about an urban center moving from motorized to non-motorized transport, and most of them are in the form of either walking or cycling, because if there is a metro line, then the nearest areas are being either walked or cycled. So 45% of the urban commuters either walk or cycle, and this has been one of the major cases which has been witnessed in Delhi, Mumbai and Kolkata. The ranging data has been for somewhere from 40% to 50% for the non-motorized drivers, right? Now this has been significantly high in major cities and relatively less in smaller cities, very less in million plus cities. Now this has been attributed to better infrastructural development in metropolitan, better amount of accessibility, higher amount of facilities in the urban areas, which actually ensure that people have to walk a little distance. So why walking has been a choice? Now there are various reasons. One is urban congestion, so people prefer to go for public transport, and in that sequence they would have to walk to the nearest or the closest place, because many of the people are deterring from having a own vehicle. Now economic issues are again there, because this is one of the most viable and most cheaper option. And then there is a widespread gap, as we could see, because some of the cities are let's say Kochi, Mysore, are now promoting non-motorized transport because they are able to develop better infrastructures, but other cities, smaller cities, million plus cities, are still lacking it. So in order to even emphasize this scenario, we need to have better infrastructure, dedicated footpaths, safe crossings, pedestrian safe walk areas, and urban designs which could be safer for cyclists as well, and much greener, so that it provides shade during the summer months. The next important topic is the personal vehicles on use are very high as compared to the commercial vehicles. So if you look onto this chart, you would understand The vehicle registration by use for the personal purpose is nearly 88% in contrast to only 12% for commercial purpose. So our road network or road infrastructure is mainly dominated by personal transport, and that has been the report which has been published by M-Parivahan portal, where we see that the number of the vehicles which have registered for the private use have been significantly high. That means individuals are relying on their individual means for mobility, and there are significant challenges with public transport. So this actually whole talks about the major cities where two-wheelers actually dominate the scenario, but still make up most of the proportion of daily trips. So if we look on to the metropolitans like Chennai, Hyderabad, Bangalore, nearly 30% of them are those who are using two-wheelers for regular commuting, and this is because it is more agile. Parking isn't a problem, affordability is relatively easier. And if we look onto the capital city of Delhi, we are seeing that there are nearly 513 cars being added per day. Now, if so many cars are being added per day, you can understand the situation of roads in the coming years, right? So, even if we focus on million plus cities, two-wheeler are significant. Smaller towns like Dehradun, Trivendrapuram, Kochi are again witnessing nearly 30 to 40% of the vehicles which are because of the two-wheelers, right? The next is in the smaller cities, Gangtok, Shillong, Rishikesh, 20 to 50% is the usage. However, the car usage in these areas have significantly increased, and as you can see in Gangtok, there has been a significant surge in four-wheelers. The two-wheelers have declined significantly. Now, why it is important? Because it's not just about the rising incomes, it is about lifestyle aspirations, availability and transport options in the public area. So better income, better infrastructure, limited public transport are some of the reasons people are left with no other option but to go for a individual personal four-wheeler vehicle, and therefore they are skipping two-wheelers to get into a four-wheeler. Now this effect is what is called as a leapfrog effect, is specifically seen in hilly areas, scattered areas where public transport is not at all economically viable option, and therefore people are left with no other option but to go for cars. And since it's a hilly terrain, it's a mountainous terrain, traffic jams become a regular problem in those areas, further exaggerating the problem for the transport and network. The next is public transport trends. If we look on to from Hyderabad to Kolkata, we have seen a significant increase in the number of public transport. So Hyderabad, Delhi, Chennai on the lower frontier, Mumbai, Bangalore, Kolkata on a relatively higher frontier. But the bus use in the metro areas, megapolitan areas have declined by nearly 6%. In metro systems, there is a minor shift, but suburban areas have seen a significant increase. There has been million plus cities which are seeing a limited expansion of public transport, but public usage has increased in sub-million cities, which is the actually a great in figures, right? So if we talk about Gangtok, we already saw car usage significantly increased. Srinagar, there is no functional public transport system. Silchar, there is no public transport system. Kohima, there is minimum dependence on buses because there is very limited coverage, so people are left with no other option but to go for an individual vehicle. So those kind of things are significantly seen. Again in Srinagar, as we said, that there has been a significant decline in bus trips, and that is because of the vehicle control policy. So people are again left with no other options but to go for a personal option, right? So that is one thing. Then the next is the informal public transit. Now when we are talking about urban population, people commuting in the urban population, we have seen in the last 20 years there has been a significant increase in the number of people out migrating from rural area to urban area, and this has brought in with a major issue in urban area where we can see that the formal investments in the public transportation is relatively less as compared to different cities. However, this has been significantly higher, and the growth has been significantly high in the million plus cities, very less in smaller cities, right? But there has been a significant gap between the formal transport and the informal transport. And if we see cities like Ranchi, Varanasi, there has been a significantly high proportion of informal transportation as compared to formal transportation. And therefore what is really important is to ensure that whatever places are there, they have a last mile connectivity, they have flexibility, better demand and better accessibility. And what we need to understand in case of unregulated expansion is to ensure that traffic congestion problems are solved, there are safety problems which are to be resolved, and many areas, the hilly areas, the northeastern areas which are so far disconnected, should be brought under the proper connect of the urban area. So that was the major focus of Down to Earth this time. There were few other tidbits that have been discussed which would be available in the handouts on Examrace current affairs section. So stay tuned for more updates from our side on a regular basis for Yojana Kurukshetra and Down to Earth. Thanks for joining in. Have a great day.